What if the most futuristic city on Earth is quietly becoming one of the most fragile? Dubai built its reputation on perfection: giant skyscrapers, artificial islands, endless luxury. For years, the city looked untouchable, almost like a preview of the future itself. But behind the glowing skyline, a different story may already be unfolding. Because while the world keeps seeing records and billion-dollar projects, experts have started noticing something else entirely: silent pressure building beneath the surface, environmental risks, economic cracks, growing dependence on systems that can't afford to fail. And if even one of those systems breaks at the wrong moment, the consequences could spread faster than anyone expects. Dubai was always hot. That was part of its identity. But what's happening now goes far beyond normal desert weather. Temperatures have climbed into levels that scientists once discussed, mostly as future climate projections. During peak summer periods, parts of the region regularly push beyond 45 degrees Celsius, and experts warn that extreme heat waves in the Gulf could eventually move even higher. At that point, the danger stops being about comfort. It becomes about survival. The human body struggles to cool itself under that kind of heat. Walking outside for too long can become dangerous. Infrastructure also starts feeling the pressure. Roads expand, equipment overheats, power demand explodes as millions of air conditioners run non-stop across the city. And that's the part many people overlook. Dubai doesn't just use cooling systems for convenience. The city depends on them to function. A major power failure during extreme temperatures wouldn't just be inconvenient. Hospitals, transportation, communications, refrigeration, and essential services could all face immediate disruption. But the heat problem connects directly to another vulnerability most visitors never think about. Dubai doesn't have major rivers or natural freshwater reserves. Most of the city's drinking water comes from desalination plants pulling water from the Persian Gulf. On paper, it sounds like an incredible technological solution. In reality, it creates massive dependence. Desalination requires enormous amounts of electricity and constant operation around the clock. If energy systems fail, fuel supplies are disrupted, or regional tensions affect infrastructure, water access could quickly become a serious problem. And in a city where millions rely almost entirely on that artificial system, even a short interruption could create chaos. But Dubai didn't stop there. The city also tried to reshape nature itself. Projects like Palm Jumeirah turned Dubai into a global symbol of engineering ambition. Massive islands, built from millions of tons of sand, became proof that money and technology could seemingly overcome geography. At least, that was the image. Over time, concerns started growing about erosion, structural stability, and gradual sinking in some artificial island developments. Reports and geotechnical studies have suggested that parts of these projects may slowly shift over the years. At first, the numbers sound tiny. A few millimeters annually doesn't sound dramatic. But over decades, combined with rising sea levels and stronger storms, the risks become harder to ignore. And then there's the World Islands, one of Dubai's most ambitious projects ever announced. It was supposed to become a luxury map of the planet floating in the ocean. Instead, large sections remain unfinished, underdeveloped, or nearly abandoned. What was once marketed as the future started looking more like a warning about overexpansion. But physical construction isn't the only thing creating pressure. Dubai's economy projects an image of endless wealth, but behind the luxury branding sits a much more complicated financial reality. The city expanded rapidly through enormous borrowing and aggressive real estate development. That strategy helped create one of the fastest urban transformations in modern history, but it also created massive exposure. Back in 2009, Dubai faced a major property crash that shocked investors worldwide. Property prices collapsed, debt fears exploded, and outside financial support became necessary to stabilize the situation. The city recovered, but the deeper issue never fully disappeared. Today, Dubai still depends heavily on global investment, tourism, and confidence. As long as money keeps flowing in, the system keeps moving. But if tourism slows, global markets weaken, or investor confidence drops, those hidden pressures could return very quickly. And while billion-dollar towers dominate the skyline, another reality exists far from the luxury advertisements. Millions of migrant workers keep Dubai running every single day. Construction workers, cleaners, drivers, hotel staff, delivery workers. Many come from countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and the Philippines searching for better opportunities. But reports about harsh conditions, overcrowded housing, withheld documents, delayed wages, and exhausting labor environments have followed the city for years. During global crises like the pandemic, many workers suddenly found themselves stranded without stable income or immediate ways home. The uncomfortable truth is that Dubai's entire system relies heavily on this workforce. And now another challenge is appearing at the same time: automation. Dubai has positioned itself as one of the most technologically advanced cities in the world. AI systems, automated hotels, digital banking, facial recognition, and smart infrastructure continue expanding across daily life. That creates efficiency, but it also threatens many low-level operational jobs that millions depend on. For a city already built around economic imbalance, that transition could create even more tension beneath the surface. And the timing may not be ideal, because another major pillar of Dubai's success is slowly changing too. Luxury tourism isn't as untouchable as it once was. For years, Dubai dominated social media and travel culture with giant malls, luxury resorts, indoor ski slopes, and experiences designed to feel larger than life. But younger travelers increasingly want something different: authenticity, nature, local culture, unique experiences that feel real instead of manufactured. That shift is creating stronger competition from places many people once ignored. Saudi Arabia is investing billions into futuristic tourism projects. Morocco is attracting travelers with culture and history. Indonesia continues pulling visitors with natural beauty and affordability. Dubai is still one of the world's most visited cities, but the dominance feels less automatic than before. And competition is growing far beyond tourism. Dubai built its global reputation by becoming the ultimate futuristic city. The problem is that other countries are now trying to build something even bigger. Saudi Arabia's NEOM project promises an entirely new kind of megacity focused on advanced technology and sustainability. Singapore continues dominating as one of the most efficient urban systems in the world. At the same time, global trade routes are evolving. New shipping corridors and infrastructure projects could slowly reduce Dubai's strategic importance in international commerce. That matters because Dubai depends heavily on the outside world. Food, labor, technology, investment, tourism, much of it comes from abroad. More than 80% of the population consists of foreigners. That creates incredible global connectivity, but also major vulnerability. Any disruption in international supply chains, regional conflict, or economic instability can immediately impact the city. And behind the futuristic image, another issue keeps growing quietly: pressure. Dubai is one of the most monitored cities on Earth. Surveillance cameras, AI tracking systems, facial recognition, and digital monitoring are deeply integrated into everyday life. Supporters argue it creates safety and efficiency. Critics say it creates an environment where privacy barely exists. At the same time, inequality remains impossible to ignore. One side of Dubai lives inside luxury towers, exotic supercars, and private resorts. Another side works long hours behind the scenes just to keep the system operating. And the bigger Dubai grows, the more difficult it becomes to maintain the illusion that everything is perfectly balanced. Because that may be the city's biggest challenge of all. Dubai isn't just maintaining buildings, it's maintaining an image of limitless growth, endless money, permanent success. But maintaining perfection is expensive. It requires constant expansion, constant investment, constant control, and constant confidence from the rest of the world. And history has shown that systems built around perfection often become fragile the moment cracks begin to appear. Dubai may continue thriving for decades. It could adapt, evolve, and overcome many of these pressures. But there's another layer to this story that makes the situation even more complicated. Dubai was designed for speed, fast growth, fast construction, fast expansion. In just a few decades, the city transformed from a relatively small desert trading hub into one of the most recognizable skylines on Earth. The problem is that rapid growth often creates hidden weaknesses. Entire districts were built around cars instead of human movement. Many areas become nearly impossible to comfortably explore on foot during large parts of the year. Massive highways connect luxury developments, but real community interaction can sometimes feel surprisingly limited. Some critics argue that parts of Dubai function more like carefully engineered showcases than naturally evolving neighborhoods. And when a city depends heavily on presentation, perception becomes extremely important. That's why Dubai invests so heavily in maintaining an image of stability, safety, and futuristic success. The city understands something most governments already know: confidence is one of the most valuable currencies in the modern world. As long as investors believe in the vision, tourists keep arriving, and businesses continue expanding, the momentum survives. But momentum can change quickly. Climate pressure is increasing, competition is growing, Global economics are becoming less predictable. Artificial intelligence is reshaping labor markets. Younger generations are questioning older systems and lifestyles. None of these issues alone would necessarily threaten Dubai. The real concern is what happens if multiple pressures start colliding at the same time. Imagine a future where extreme heat pushes infrastructure to its limits, while tourism weakens during a global recession. Imagine automation replacing thousands of jobs while housing costs continue rising. Imagine geopolitical instability disrupting supply chains in a city deeply dependent on imports. Suddenly, the vulnerabilities no longer look theoretical, and perhaps that's what makes Dubai so fascinating. It may be one of the greatest experiments of the modern era, a city attempting to overcome geography, climate, and natural limitations through technology, wealth, and ambition. In many ways, it already succeeded, but every system has limits. The question is whether Dubai can reinvent itself fast enough before those limits begin pushing back harder than expected. But for the first time in years, more people are starting to ask a question that once sounded impossible. Is Dubai truly the future of civilization? Or is it a warning about how difficult the future may actually become?